Chapter 21, Dark Spirit. In hot pursuit, Kaiba and company make their way through the maze of circuitry and infiltrate the central unit. This is the control unit of the fantasy world created by the computer where Scott is hiding. The countdown to the final battle has started. Red 2 standing by, all 4 lit and in the green. And it's time to wrap things up on the last battle of the story. Now, there is something that I want to show you. You'll note here we have the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. We obviously can't select it, but we can see its info from the last time we used it in battle. We can still see that the Red Eyes is level 1. Crawling Dragon is still dead. Quite literally, it is actually an undead dragon at the moment, and we will get it back. So, Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, we can check its stats as well. So there we are. It doesn't get a lot of attack, it seems, so it's a bit of a nuisance. So, you can actually check the stats of those monsters you didn't use on the status screen. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, we can see we have Obelisk. So we will be able to use Obelisk in due course, and its stats will change depending on the level of our monsters. So that's just a nice creative touch. Now we do have... there's Castle of Dark Illusions, which comes in at level 1 with its stats from the manga. We also have to find Zoa, because I sort of forgot about this. So tell you what I'll do. Well, I'll just temporarily replace Thunder Dragon with Zoa so that we can scroll down. Say hello to Metal Zoa, which comes in with 3000 attack, 3 AP, and it's fairly decent. Now we need to find Thunder Dragon and put it back on Rex's team. There we go. So yeah, we'll be using Metal Zoa at some point in the future, but for now that is staying as Rex's team. His team's at least got reasonable HP. Bones' team is still doing remarkably well. Going to be taking him along. That team's doing fairly solidly. We have pretty good situations. So, with Mokuba ready to go, we'll give Mokuba another battle here. So, we'll go through all the usual proceedings and then we can take on the final boss. Kaiba should probably be the one to face Scott, so he will. So, once again, we have to take out these 3 bases. Now, the best option would probably... So I'll send Mokuba around, avoiding the center. We don't want to get too close to that, but I'll skirt around that and we can basically flatten the Karibo team. And let's see, I'll send Labyrinth Ruler in. Then I'll send Kaiba in, but I'll have a couple of other marshals stationed around the place to deal with the upcoming battles, because you know what's going to happen. We are going to fight Scott, and then we're going to fight an Egyptian god. Now, pay attention to something. Let's take a look at Scott's team. He's got perfect stats, as you might expect. But note that his team has not improved in terms of levels. Scott's team does not actually level up at any point during the game. At least this one. He has his final team, but it's implied that he's basically so unhinged, so focused on his plan that he has simply forgotten to level grind. Labyrinth Ruler. We should go up north. And as for the basic insects, who should face those? So I want Bones on hand for the main battle. Weevil can take on the insects because who knows more about dealing with insects than Weevil? So if we go over here, we can start hacking into the system and reduce the strength of the Egyptian god we fight, which is fairly handy. There's still plenty for me to actually try and show to you, of course. We will have a few secrets, but one of the secrets that pops up in regards to the final battle is that Scott's team doesn't improve. It doesn't matter how many playthroughs you do, Scott's team on this playthrough does not level up. It's kind of weird, but there you go. So we'll have it slowly just wander along, and we're nearly ready to have the battle. Nearly, anyway. Come on, Mokuba. Making a fool out of me. Oh well. It is kind of awkward balancing things in Kaiba's story in all fairness, because at least when you wind up losing Yugi's friends, they're not out of the picture for very long. On the other hand, you wind up with Martha's dead really early on and you don't get his services even if he is a bit of a joke character. Now, of course, the problem with Kaiba. It has some of the lowest HP in the game. It can hit pretty hard if you give it a couple of copies of Multiply. But, at the same time, it's not going to withstand very many attacks. So you really need to make sure it's not getting hurt. Yeah. We'll just wipe it out. So the little fuzzballs can be dangerous, but they're not going to handle very many strong attacks. We can pretty much blast through them with ease. Ishizu really would have made mincemeat of them. But if you play your cards right, so to speak, terrible pun, Kaiba can be useful. It's sort of the very embodiment of Kaiba. It's not useful on paper. It's not useful in terms of its stats alone. But in the right situations, it can actually be particularly powerful, even if it doesn't necessarily get to do a great deal in terms of actual battling. But it has been popular enough that it is kind of an unofficial mascot for the series. There has been at least one Kaiba in each incarnation of the game. And it's interesting to note that most of them are actually quite a lot of them are light affinity. It's all the ones that are connected to Yugi that seem to be of the dark affinity. Or attribute, I mean. There we go. Little difficult, they can be pains in the backside, but if you bring a good spirit team, they will just get brushed aside so easily. They might be able to hurt you a bit, but you can tear them apart. Little unfortunate. Anyway, with our preparations ready for the next battles, let's just get moving. And you know what? Yeah, I said we'll send Weevil. Rex isn't going to get to do anything. Labyrinth Ruler. Don't really think we've got that much time to fit profiles in. Slifer the Sky Dragon made its international debut as a Shonen Jump promo before making a number of other appearances. In Japan, it debuted as a V-Jump promo and has continued to appear since. Now, in terms of raw power, Slifer can be a bit on the impractical side due to powering up based on the number of cards in your hand. Don't tell Slifer it's basically a glorified version of Muka Muka. However, its potent attack reducing effect more than makes up for it, rendering any sort of combat against Slifer an extremely risky position. You'll need some pretty heavy firepower to get rid of it. With careful and clever play, forcing your opponent on the back foot, Slifer can run roughshod over the battlefield and win duels with ease. And that attack reducing effect, that takes form in its special attack in this game. Slifer is not to be messed with. Alright, we might have been able to squeeze it in. So, our Magnet Warriors, fairly capable, but their HP is not huge. They're not super strong. Which one is the strongest? As usual, Beta. Just like in the card game, you want to be able to take it out as quickly as possible. They do get armor, I believe. And we want to go with that. And yes, magic does do half damage to guarding enemies. I am glad I remembered that. Or it's more a case of I wanted to actually confirm it, because it's not something I'd really run into before. All of these three will do heavy damage to machines. All of these three can basically benefit from road adept and armor. So they'll probably hurt Labyrinth Tank a bit, but we'll be able to knock them around and finish this off pretty easily, all things considered. And yeah, we got the critical. Hinatama's still good value no matter what. Because even if you're using even if you've got 2 enemies, you're still damaging 2 enemies for 1 AP. It's still very cost effective. It's been surprisingly reliable. It's just good, handy chip damage all around. And I mean, we've almost already got through this battle. Easy as you please. It's not too difficult to work out this one. You've just basically got to deal with maybe 1 or 2 more abilities and somewhat stronger enemies. This isn't really hard. The big challenge is going to come up slightly later on, because there are some little secrets with this. Naturally, your campaign does get tougher, especially if the AI gets a whole lot of turns in a row, kind of like we have sometimes. Because what I'm looking to do is finish it off there. There we go. And that should almost do it. Next one. Alright, no, that did actually do it. Good-o. So, we just got to get Weevil to handle things, and then I'll get Bones in. Another AP for Labyrinth Tank. It is relentless. It is absolutely relentless. So there we are. System's northern bridge is halted. Let's throw in another profile while we get Weevil moving and I set up. Card of Safe Return made its international debut in Labyrinth of Nightmare and has made a few reappearances. In Japan, it debuted in Spell of Mask and was fairly prominent too. Now, you can't really talk about Slifer without bringing up Card of Safe Return, thanks to the ridiculousness of the anime and manga, in which Card of Safe Return forced its owner to draw 3 cards anytime a monster was special summoned from the graveyard. This jankiness and peculiarity wound up backfiring on Strings, and Yugi won Slifer from the possessed mind. Marek was controlling him and had a near flawless strategy to wind up making Slifer ridiculously powerful, but Yugi found a way through. It's watered down a lot in the TCG and OCG. You can choose to draw 1 card, but it's still firmly on the ban list due to the powerful graveyard recursion many decks have. It's often been associated with zombies, and their revival skills these days would make this ridiculous. Alright, it is time for the annual Big Bug Bash. And I will bet they get to go first and absolutely rip my team apart. waited. One of them waited, one of them guarded. Don't want to be looking up a moth's backside, so let's just finish this. Wow, it can critical? I did not know that. I legitimately did not know that. That's probably because I wasn't paying attention. I mean, I did get nailed with a gigantic critical thanks to Dark Burning Magic back when I had to face Yugi and all his friends, and that's why everything went horrifically wrong. 2 criticals in one. Basic insect. Well done. Very impressive. And there we are. Are they going to be competent, or will I just get to blast bugs? Probably best if I just pour on the gunfire. Help finish them off. But yeah, this team has definitely impressed me. And they're not doing anything. The Kaiba team was more intelligent than this. Artificial stupidity at its finest. There must be something about Weevil that just makes people dumber in his presence. Anyway, it is really nice that you get a lot of replay value out of this game. Sure, it's kind of complicated to actually get some of it, but the fact that the different stories do get more challenging as you go on, you've got more to do, and there's a reason to replay the stories, even if it's a bit frustrating at times. This is still a pretty solid game. At least I think it is anyway. And, like, I've just kept coming back to it. It's finally done something. There just really is something about a lot of the games in the GameCube era that is just really interesting. There's just a lot of spark. Sometimes these days it seems like it's a bit hit or miss. Like, anybody who gets successful can wind up resting on their laurels a bit. I mean, I admit that the Pokemon Company... I would say that the Pokemon Company has done that sometimes because they've got so many ways to bring in money for the Pokemon series that it doesn't bother them. The games can be janky, but fine, they've got so many other things that they're not necessarily as fussed about the games. Which is a little sad. But they do still make good games. There are still some really nice ideas along the way. I'm going to get some I'm going to put a supply unit here. There are still some really, really good games along the way in the Pokemon series. They still do tend to hit the nail on the head. I still have a lot of praise for the series, and I do still think that even if there are flaws, they still make really good games. There are still things I can enjoy about them for all the things I've criticized. And it's sort of the same with YuGiOh. Like, the game is janky and confusing as all hell. I must say I admire your persistence. I never expected anyone to make it this far, and now we've had 2 people do this. Oh yeah, this is where I have to wind up acting crazy. I'm tired of your stalling. Turn off this machine now! It's too late, Kaiba. You know, I've prepared to summon the Dark Spirit, and you don't get to do anything about it. My plan will, to a degree, work. Wait, Dark Spirit? You heard me. I built this computer to summon the ancient powers of darkness. I mean, who does satanic rituals anymore? You can do just about anything on an iPhone or a computer or something like that. You might as well just wind up going onto some sort of website and summoning a devil. There's probably something that would let you do that, but really, don't look it up. It's really not a good idea, kids. Don't mess around in powers you don't understand, because, I mean, I don't understand any of this, and look at me, I'm absolutely well, let's just say crazy, because, well, we try not to swear too much. Alright, I'm batshit crazy, okay? I have a plan to take over the world. Do you think I'm a normal person? No, I'm not a normal person. I have built this computer to devour strong duelist souls and take over the entire world. I don't know how the technology of this works. It requires ancient Egyptian magic or something. Just be on it that I'm trying to kill you. Something like that. I'm tired of this nonsense. There is no dark spirit. It's nothing more than ancient superstition. Kaiba, you of all people should know that my inventions are more than they seem. This is not just some game or simulator. It's a trap. A chain to bind my tribute to the dark spirit. This machine is linked to your souls and controls all your senses. How does it actually do that anyway? You know, maybe I should have just made an actual fortune providing legitimate brain uploading. You know, if I actually wound up using some of this technology seriously and not trying to launch evil schemes that destroy the world, I'd be rich. I'd be richer than you. What is the point of destroying the world anyway? How can I wind up ruling it? Like, what happens? Do you wind up ruling over a wasteland or something like that? Well, this is fairly accurate. The dark spirit will come from the darkness found within the human heart. You know, they kind of are bastards. Me included. Scott's gone completely nuts, brother. And Kaiba has probably just sort of tuned out at this point. We get the same dialogue. And Kaiba is well prepared to shut the machine off. And let's shut Scott up once and for all. So, as you can see, his team hasn't got any better. But it's still faster than us, which is a pain in the butt. So we have to sit through all these attacks. Just drag it drag it out. Does he have any healers? So that I can guide my attacks properly. Come on. Thank you. No, his team is really that bad. It is pretty much implied that he has just gone flat out insane and isn't planning things properly. I will need to make sure I heal the Blue Eyes, because I will have a pretty good plan coming up for the next part of the battle. Yeah, they're actually starting to hold their own pretty well, and we've always got polymerization on hand. Eventually we'll get to the point where we can actually just win a fight on the strength of the Blue Eyes alone, but I'm only letting Kaiba use them, no one else. It has always been the way, and it shall continue to be so. Probably should have been healing a bit, because we don't know when the turn order is going to go janky. And another electric blast from the Noodle Dragon. Some of them seriously do look like noodles. You kind of wonder where they actually keep their internal organs. How they even support those scrawny bodies. Okay, heal first. Just in case. Make sure I press the right buttons. Because I don't want to waste certain items. If I press the wrong buttons, then I have to run back to base and get supplies sorted out. And that's going to be really fiddly, but I intend to do that anyway. I don't want to have to waste any more money on supplies than is absolutely necessary, because I mean, why would a corporate billionaire actually wind up spending money on something where they don't really have to do anything meaningful? I mean, all those things like health and safety and employee wages and stuff like that, why do you have to spend money on that? That could be much better spent going into your pocket. Keep in mind, I do actually think that it is very important to pay your employees properly. But that is a topic for another time, because if I start ranting on that, I'll probably be even less popular than usual. So, we've basically got a technological madman versus a corporate billionaire. This really is a good allegory for real life. You kind of don't want anyone to win. Alright, Skull Knight. We'll vaporize Skull Knight. And then I should probably So I'm probably not going to win this one unless I do use polymerization. But I don't want to worry about using polymerization. I don't really have a lot to stock up on either. I don't need to worry about polymerization, and I can just sort of gradually stock up on my healing. So I'll retreat to base. I'll heal the team, and then we'll get on to what I need to show you. Thank you very much for making me look stupid. Die. It always looks slightly weird watching it jump back when the attack isn't directly connecting with it, but yeah, like there are some strange animations in the game, but at least you can tell it's hit. I wish I knew how the accuracy rate and critical rate were calculated in this game, because it gets a little confusing sometimes. Because sometimes you'll just have games where the attacks just whiff like nobody's business. It would be nice if it was actually connected to compatibility, but then that might allow you to break the game a little too much. And there we go. And more level ups. Scott's team doesn't really give a lot of experience in much later playthroughs. So we'll have to stop Kaiba's team and send them back to base. Well, there's nothing you can do to stop it. The Dark Spirit is almost here. All I wanted to do was offer you as tribute painlessly, but you're not going to worry about that, are you? You know, I should really be looking to get medical help, but I'm too crazy. I'm essentially rambling on in my last moments. If I had one regret in my life, it's that I'm dying. What a waste.
Indeed, it's unfortunate to lose such a convenient pawn. Even if he was more than a little crazy. Well, he was a lot crazy. And hello everyone, I've recovered from stabbing myself in my beard and I'm ready to fight again. I could have used him for something else. And now you must pay for interfering with a minion of darkness.
Who are you?
Does it matter? What good does it know the cow to know the name of the butcher? It's still going to end up as steak. This place is actually quite nice, even if they do wind up recycling their scripts out of necessity. A little frustrating. Oh well, might as well eat you or kill you or whatever. Let's see, which minion should I summon forth? Slifer the Sky Dragon!
And this is where we get Slifer. This... You know what, you're probably better off doing Kaiba's story first in some ways, because this is tough. There is a good reason that this is tough. I want to get out of here. I don't want to be fighting this. I will heal my central blue eyes, though. I don't want to be fighting it with this particular team, but... run for the hills. Good, we did actually get to escape. So, alright, so we've made a run for it. I'll set Kaiba's team back, and then I want to demonstrate one of my favourite things to do. Wait, no, game, no, bad, no. Bad. Fine. Alright, fine. I will take you on with Kaiba even though I didn't want to. Are you happy now? Pain in the ass. So, Slifer comes in weaker because we wound up hacking the system. I didn't want to do this. I wanted to take him on with Bones. Because if you have monsters that can paralyze the opponent, you can tear through the enemy. There is also something we've got to watch out for with Slifer. Thunder Force Wave, Thunderbolt summons. Slifer's special attack drops the opponent's the attack of all opponents by 2,000. Basically a reference to its ability. So yeah, you probably want to do Kaiba's story first if you're a bit worried, because Slifer is just that strong. It is really dangerous. It is quite challenging, and you can see that it's also fairly big. This is a pretty serious fight. I have to find out which of my Blue Eyes actually still has polymerization, because I didn't want to be fighting it right off the bat. I wanted Bones to tear it apart, because if you actually do send Bones in, so the middle one doesn't have polymerization. If you send in Bones to wipe him out, quite often you can wind up in situations where Slifer doesn't get to do anything. Because you've just locked it down, you've paralyzed it, you've poisoned it. You can do this with Mai as well. It can be quite brutal watching an Egyptian god just get its ass kicked because you're not letting it do anything. And there we are, standard Slifer laser. Now there is of course something else I do want to wind up showing you, but we're going to have to do that a bit later on. I did want to try and do things a bit differently, but no, the game chucked a hissy fit. You have to do it with Kaiba, it said. You can't run away and do this with someone else. You've got to keep fighting them with Kaiba even though your team's fairly injured. Pain in the backside. Wasting my time. So there we go. We'll laser that. We've still taken a fair chunk out of Slifer. Probably going to need to have that one heal itself. So we'll have this one attack. The next one... The one that has used polymerization needs to heal itself. Or, well, it can attack, actually. Should be right. Because the turn order doesn't stuff up in this. It's actually very clear. There we go. We've got the Blue Eyes White Dragon versus Slifer. We get a turn first. And I should be in a good position to utterly blast it. So we've got about 5,500 attack. So. Now it's gone for it. Couldn't have done that earlier. So you'll note that we are now down by 2,000 attack. Oh, come on! This is annoying. This is really annoying. So at least it can't drain our attack anymore, but I needed that. So I don't think I'm going to kill it. Especially not with that attack missing. Are you actually kidding me right now? Thank you! I don't know how you can miss a target that big. Not even the bucket heads could manage that. Oh boy. Just has to go and wind up messing with all my plans. Now Wanted to show off how easy it is to use status conditions to make the Egyptian gods look totally useless in this game. But no, we have to whiff 2 attacks in a row because the game doesn't like us, and we have to get stuck using Kaiba on top of that. How annoying. But I am going to be using Kaiba for the next bit. I need to heal Kaiba, I need to replenish his team, and then we will take on the next bit. Unless I somehow sack criticals, I'm not winning this because the game got pissy with me. This is very much a case of this is taking a lot longer than I wanted it to. But at least we wind up softening Slifer up pretty easily. So next time, we can just send the Blue Eyes in, vaporize his sorry hide, and then go back and heal the team. That's why you've got the healer at the start, so that if the situation goes badly wrong, you can run. Also, the experience you get is absolutely meager. Oh, one of them was actually a bit behind the others. So we don't actually get pushed back. At least last time we wiped them out pretty easily. Thankfully, this will be over. Now, you might have guessed by the way I'm behaving that there's something more to this. You would be correct. You would be absolutely correct. So, let's get back to base after this because there's another fight coming up. There's a very good reason I suggested that you actually try and do Kaiba's story first. If you want to. There we are, pitiful experience for killing one level 1 monster. Even if it is an Egyptian god, it doesn't give us very much experience. Oh! Ow, not again, my beard! I've stabbed myself on my beard twice! This is horrible! Did we beat it? The short answer is no. Right! I'm mad with you! Now my beard is an actual dagger! You insignificant little bug! You've made me stab myself on my beard twice! I'm not playing anymore! I will devour every last one of your souls. You will spend eternity in darkness and tormented pain! Who wrote this stuff anyway? It's materializing! Go back to the fairy tale you come from! So we get fancy and music. And I'll send Kaiba back to heal. Our opponent, Nightmare. Maximum level. Maximum power Slifer. So, this is our final opponent. Whichever story you do second will have the maximum power Egyptian god. But there's another secret that comes with this. We do get some pretty neat music, but I'll show off that secret. Might as well get as much healing as we possibly can. I'm under no illusions that Slifer is going to be a dangerous adversary. I'll get Bones out of the way, though. Now, you can use Bones to utterly lock him down, or anybody who's got monsters that can paralyze the opponent. If you have a monster that can actually wind up confusing the Egyptian god, then you wind up saving yourself a lot of trouble because it can't use its special attack. So, we wind up facing Nightmare and his even pointier beard than before. with a full-powered Egyptian god. Have we got the oomph to take it down? I'm not going to worry about fusing because I've got something else I want to show you. Note that if you have a monster that does deal heavy damage to spirit monsters, you will actually get that benefit. So the question is what's it going to do from the outset? Might have smarter AI. That's the only question. Not much smarter. But it will deal heavy damage. We are playing with serious power here, and things could very easily go wrong. But the fact that my Blue Eyes should be able to shrug off 2 attacks is very handy. The music is much more panicked this time around, and I need to coordinate the order of my attacks properly. So, I need to save that one. Number 3, which is on the left. I think it's on the left of screen anyway. You might have been working out why. We're about to get something special. Which one's it going for? This one. Oh, right in the camera. If you're photosensitive, that's nasty. That's some nasty stuff. Okay, so the one I can't see at the moment. There we are. Laser blast right in the guts. We're chipping away at it pretty well. So this is the one I need to save to attack last. There's going to be something really cool that we get to show off. Assuming things don't go badly wrong. There is always the danger that things will go badly wrong. It's weighted. The AI isn't very smart. Alright, I'm going to deal as much damage as I can. You know what? Let's... Let's heal this one. Let's wait for Slifer to do something. Alright, it's gone for its special attack. Which has missed. I might be able to ride out one more turn. But then again, my arrogance could backfire. Still, I'm Seto freaking Kaiba. Let's go for arrogance. Okay. Now we go for it. We bring in Obelisk because a battle of the gods is about to begin. And we get a nice funky battlefield. On top of that, Obelisk's attacks have actually changed. Omni Hand Crusher has become its regular attack. Almighty Hand Impact has become its special attack. So look, it's probably worth using this just once. Now, it's not very helpful because there's only one opponent. But this is basically Obelisk's maximum power attack. We get to see it punch Slifer square in the guts. And admittedly, this looks awesome. This is the battle we've been waiting for. This is the spectacular showdown. Now, Slifer can still drain our attack. But we can dish out the slap of doom, and we can falcon punch it. So yeah, we will lose attack from this. That is probably Slifer's big advantage in terms of gameplay. It is probably the best one of the Egyptian gods because of that attack. It's even harder to bring down. It's basically easy mode. You won't need to worry about it in the main game very much because nothing will touch you. Alright, we will continue to punch it or slap it. It's drained our attack again. Smart move. See, unfortunately, you'll probably come out worse for this because of that attack draining. It's a real pain in the backside, but I wonder what Almighty Hand Impact does. If it will actually do anything extra. Now, it'd be nice if we got a critical. Now, it's done the intelligent thing and guarded just to troll me. So if we wait a bit, I can slap it again. I don't know if I'm going to kill it. You know what? I'm just going to end this battle for now by going for a punch in the face. Which seems to do a bit more damage than usual. So there we go. That's how the showdown between gods can wind up going. Kaiba gets a level up. I'll stop and heal the team. Just in case something goes wrong, and now we can end it. The Dark Spirit will be no more. It's been a heck of a battle, but we have finally reached the end of Kaiba's story. Oh look, I'm doing it this way. I'm doing it this way. We're going in with the ultimate dragon. And we might as well use the special, just because. Oh, damn it. Alright, so that wasn't quite as showy as I wanted it to be. I'm still showing off a bit, but let's end it. And there goes the battle. That is the conclusion of Kaiba's storyline, and we get some seriously good experience from that. And there we are. The central processor unit is liberated.
How dare you attack me! You will pay for this! Oh, ow, ow, ow! I stabbed myself in my beard again. This really isn't my day, is it? Ow. We did it!
What's happening?
The whole place is starting to fall apart. Everybody save yourselves! I'm getting out of here! I'm too rich to die!
And there we are. Slifer's orb is ours. We can summon it, when we get the opportunity. Seta, wake up! Ugh.
Mokuba?
Thank goodness you're awake. We need to hurry. The whole place is on fire.
Fire?
When I woke up, there were flames coming out of the machine connected to the dual disc. Must have been some kind of trouble. We have to get out of here now.
Alright.
And once again, the same cutscene. The fire in the SIC labs burned fiercely through the night. Kaiba and company escaped relatively unharmed. Marthas is still dead. And yeah, we get the same cutscene. Nobody ever talked about it, it seems. Scott Irvine is well and truly dead somewhere in cyberspace. Presumably his body's been destroyed and burned up. And yeah, basically the same, because of course you might wind up doing this story first. And there we are. We can save. And we get our cast list. Yugi, who showed up sometimes. Kaiba, who was our main character. Joey, who was a target. Taya, Tristan and Bakura, who really weren't in this very much. Mako, Mai and Esperoba. Mokuba, who was the hostage. Weevil, Rex and Bones. Marek, Ishizu and Heishin. We haven't met Marek yet, but we will. Scott Irvine. And Odeon doesn't even get to be on the character list. That kind of sucks. Stuck as a minor character again. So, with Kazuki Takahashi overseeing everything, once again we've wrapped up another story. It's time to go back and get those monsters. Because we do have a couple to wind up getting along the way, especially since I still am annoyed that I missed Enchanting Mermaid. I still love the design of this game. It's still really, really fun. We could probably wind up skipping through this pretty quickly in all fairness. Yeah, it's actually got a pretty good soundtrack that does borrow from previous games in this sort of strange and janky style, but now I'm probably going to keep going with Sacred Cards at some point, and there is still actually plenty more of this to do. There's still a hell of a lot that this game can wind up giving you. Maybe you've guessed that there's something more to do. Well, there is. And we're going to find out very soon. Thank you very much for joining me. Until next time, this is Red 2, returning to base.